Apple is about to do something that is very, very un-Apple-like, and this is all down, again, to the pesky EU. The EU made Apple introduce the USB-C port this year to the iPhone 15 and 15 Pros, and now it's probably one of the best things that Apple has ever introduced to its phones, and we always knew that Lightning was rubbish. However, the EU are about to make Apple do something else as well, and that is to allow sideloading on an iOS device. And you might have read about sideloading in the past couple of days, and it's quite a big thing because at the moment, if you want to download an app onto an iPhone, you have to go into the App Store, search your app, put in your Apple ID, download it, and perfect, it's there, ready to go. But with this new sideloading that Apple is allowing, it could potentially mean you could download any app created by anybody on your iPhone. If you've had an Android device, then sideloading isn't new because you've been able to do this for years. In fact, the other day, I had to sideload an app onto my phone because it created a really cool widget, but it wasn't available on the Play Store. So I went onto Google Chrome, found it, the APK, downloaded it, gave it its permissions, and then it was ready to use. And it really doesn't take very long at all. But Android being Android, you kind of expect sideloading to be a thing, and it is. But Apple being Apple, you just don't ever expect them to allow other people, third-party app stores onto your phone. As we know, getting an app onto the App Store is quite difficult. It's harder to get one onto the App Store than it is to get one onto the Google Play Store because you have to follow a certain amount of rules, and Apple has to yes or no it. It's got easier over the past few years, but that is the only way that you can download an app on your phone. If you're on an older version of iOS though, you can still jailbreak on your phone. And do you remember Cydia? Now that's going back a little bit, isn't it? Cydia was a third-party app store that allowed you to download pretty much anything. It was like patched games, plus apps, and loads of different stuff that Apple would never in a million years allow onto an iPhone. But the EU is making it so Apple has to allow sideloading, and it's meant to come in 2024, but apparently this is going to come with the iOS 17.2 update, which is about a month away. So we're going to see this really, really soon, and it could be interesting. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I know absolutely everything about sideloading because I just don't. I read it today for the first time, but it's interesting because essentially it could mean that anybody could have, as we know at the moment, could have a app store on an iPhone. So it means that the apps that you download at the moment from the App Store could come from elsewhere in the next couple of years. We know that Apple will try and fight this as much as they can because iPhones being secure and being private is like the top of their priority, isn't it? They mention it so much. But as I sit here at the moment, iOS 17 is going to be allowing sideloading, and I assume this will come to the UK first as it is a EU legislation, but the US is definitely going to get it. This has all come from Mark Gurman as per usual, and he's usually pretty accurate with these things, but he has said as well that it's going to happen, but it's going to be a highly controlled system that Apple will introduce to this, and that's no surprise, but this should be coming in early 2024. This is not bad though, because sideloading means that you can have more control over your phone. So for example, you could get really cool new widgets that you could place on your lock screen or on your home screen, because at the moment, Apple really restricts what you can do with it. You know, potentially you'd be able to move any of your apps anywhere you want on the screen. I don't know, that's cool. But let me know, what do you think? Do you think sideloading on an iPhone is actually a good idea? Because at the moment, I am all for it because it gives you more customization over your phone and just makes it a little bit more you, a little bit more personalized. Or do you think this could be the worst thing possible and could our phones get attacked with viruses and that means that all of the Apple phones in the world break? It's not going to happen, but you never know. So let me know in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please do so. I am on the road to 10k, so that'd be really nice. And if you want, turn on the notification bell while you're here as well. And if you do all of that, then I shall see you later.